Good morning, students. Welcome to online classes. From last sessions we are discussing about the ratio analysis chapter. Okay, so this is Ravichandar sir, accountancy faculty. From last sessions we are discussing about the ratio analysis chapter. Okay, next. So actually in the ratio analysis chapter there are the four ratios are there. One is the liquidity ratios, one is the solvency ratios, one is the profitability ratios, and the last one is the activity ratios. Okay, so liquidity ratios is finished. Now we are going to discuss about the solvency ratios. So solvency ratios. Okay, solvency ratios. So what is this solvency? What is this solvency? So we will see this. Solvency ratios are calculated to determine the ability of the business. Solvency ratios are calculated to determine the ability of the business. Ability of the business. What ability? To service its debt in the long term, in the long run. Okay, now so if you read like this, you won't understand anything. Solvency ratios are calculated to determine the ability of the business to service its debts. So debt, here the point is debt. What is this debt? Suppose to run the business, what we did, we took some loans from the outside. So those are called as long-term loans. Suppose we took the loan 10 lakhs. Okay, suppose 10% interest. After the completion of 1 year, on that 10 lakh, so here the 10 lakhs is called the principal amount. Okay, on that we have to pay the 10% interest. So the debt is 10 lakhs, but after 1 year, we need to pay the principal amount and also we have to pay the interest amount. Okay, now, so principal amount we have to pay and interest also we have to pay. So here we have to pay the interest we have to pay. So that is the reason. So sometimes the business may have that much capacity or capability. Sometimes it may not have that much of capability. So that is the reason this solvency ratios will help to calculate that kind of ability. So that is the reason what they are saying. Solvency ratios are calculated to determine the ability of the business to service its debts. So here our debt is the 10 lakhs. On that we have to pay the 10% interest. So 10 lakhs plus 10% interest we have to pay. Okay, now so ability of the business to service its debts. So this ratio indicates the ability of the business. Okay, now so further there are the different ratios are there. Okay, now in the solvency ratios we will discuss about those ratios next. So the following ratios are normally computed for evaluating solvency of the business. So here some ratios are there. These ratios are normally computed for the evaluating of solvency of the business. So under that, the first one is the debt equity ratio. Debt equity ratio. Debt equity ratio, first one. Second one is the debt to capital employed ratio. Debt to capital employed ratio. Next, proprietary ratio. Third one is the proprietary ratio. Fourth one, total assets to debt ratio. Total assets to debt ratio. Next, interest coverage ratio. The fifth one is the interest coverage ratio. How many ratios are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Debt equity ratio, debt to capital employed ratio, proprietary ratio, and total assets to debt ratio, interest coverage ratio. So these 5 ratios are called solvency ratios. Okay, these 5 ratios are called solvency ratios. So for what purpose we have to calculate these ratios? Okay now. So normally computed for evaluating solvency of the business. So these ratios will help for the computation of evaluating solvency of the business. Okay, so but here some different terms are there. Debt is there, equity is there, debt is there, capital employed is there, proprietary funds are there. Next, total assets is there, debt is there again, interest coverage ratio is there. So different terms are there. To understand these terms, first of all you have to understand about the balance sheet. Then only we can do the problems. Okay, so for that what we have to do? So understand about the balance sheet. If you know the balance sheet perfectly, then you will understand the terms easily. So